David Benavidez says he does not want to see a 147-pounder fight a 168-pounder. And, it's a little deeper than that. And I understand. Let's talk.
Push the weight and now flex. Flex the livest one in the six. With the runner boy, you nigga, no question. You will run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm an 88 pack nigga. Woof. I'm an 88 pack nigga. I mean, day walker, drink blood, fangs out, full moon, motherfucker change like a hoe, nigga. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Drew Titan Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Boxing scene. I'll put the link in the description for you to read it. Benavidez says he respects Terrence Bud Crawford a lot, but he doesn't want to see a 147-pounder fight a 168-pounder. And I believe he says that for more than one reason. Let me go down to the direct quote. He says, to be honest with you, I don't want to see that, Benavidez told BoxingScene.com. We've already seen what happened when he fought somebody from 154, Jamel Charlo. He's talking about Canelo. So what is going to happen when he fights somebody from 147? I respect Crawford a lot, but I don't want to see a 147-pounder fight a 168-pounder. He also says, I understand Crawford is a great fighter, and he wants to go up to 168 to fight Canelo. But if you ask somebody at 112 pounds to come up and fight Canelo, they'll go up and fight Canelo. I don't know what he means by that, but whatever. You know what I mean? So it's just basically everybody wants to fight. That's what he means. He's basically saying that Canelo's a money man and everybody wants to come up. And I guess what he was saying was, if you got some guy at strawweight and they say, we'll give you a Canelo fight, he'll try and do it. He says, but we as fans deserve competitive fights. You know what I mean? And that's why I feel like Canelo doesn't want to fight me right now. I knew he was going there, and I agree. Because he knows it's the most competitive fight. And I'm working like an animal in the gym. So that's why he knows. All right. And I agree with him. I'll put the link in the description. And I agree. I agree with him. First and foremost, Bud Crawford right now, number one pound for pound fighter in the world. You can make that case. You can make that case. It's a discussion. It's a discussion out there, but as it stands right now, stylistically, what pound for pound is supposed to mean is stylistically, if this guy was at heavyweight, he'd be unstoppable. And you got to give it to Bud. This is not an emotional conversation, y'all. It's man down over here. And, with the stuff, nonsense aside, Bud is on top of the world. So, give him his respect. Let's do that. And what Benavidez is saying, look, I know on paper they want to put Bud up there with Canelo, and Canelo said he's not interested in the fight because if he beats Bud up, all they're gonna say is, hey, look, man, you beat up some smaller guy, which is true. But Bud is saying, look, I'm with the smoke and I can compete. Now, a lot of people said, hey, man, I think Bud can compete, and you're entitled to feel that way. I raised the question a while ago, and I say, look, can Bud dominate Canelo like how Floyd dominated Canelo way back when? And Floyd and Bud are two different fighters. I think Floyd is more defensively responsible. I think Floyd had better reflexes. And he's a different style of fighter than Bud. Bud tries to go in for the kill, and he might eat something, and the chin, people say it's not the greatest. Look, it makes for a great conversation. Can Bud beat Canelo? We don't know. I wouldn't write off the possibility. I'm not going to do that. But what I'm saying is I'd rather not see it. Because once again, that will be Canelo fighting a guy smaller than him. On paper, the Jamel Charlo sound like a good idea. But it didn't translate. And we saw it in the fight. It didn't translate well. Canelo has had a lot of privilege. His feet aren't held to the flames. The man on the left, David Benavidez. It's mandatory. It's the fight that real supporters of the sport would like to see. It's a fight that he wants. It's a competitive fight. Does he beat Canelo? We don't know. We won't know until they fight, if they fight. And Canelo doesn't seem to be interested. I'm really not concerned about what his fan base says. I've heard silly things like, what has he done? And you guys need to understand that Canelo killed your own argument. Because when you say to us what Canelo says, well, what has Benavidez done? All I'm going to respond to you with is Avni Yildirim. You see how simple it is? See, the conversation's over. What has David done? Avni Yildirim. Yeah, what has he done? Okay, you see, it's easy. And does Bud deserve it? We're not talking about who deserves what. We're not talking about who deserves what. If Bud wants to smash the gas on it and really make some noise, I believe he'll get it. But I don't want to see him in a ring with a man that is 2 weight classes above him. I don't want to see that. There's no need for that, Bud. There's no need for that. I said a while ago, there was more appeal in him versus Jermell Charlo. You see all of this chasing around Canelo, especially these guys at the smaller weights. To me, it's just a money grab. And Jermell looked like he didn't even try. I think Bud would go in there and try. Will he be successful? That would be determined. I don't know. But I'm going to say 60-40 Canelo, but I don't even want that. All this chasing around Canelo, it's been making me sick. Stop doing that. The storyline was Bud versus Jermell Charlo. Bud versus Texas. You beat Errol. You have to rematch him. If you beat him again, go on and fight Jermell. Simple. And sprinkle in some Tim Tszyu in the middle of that. Why are you chasing Canelo, man? Now, I agree with Benavidez. Once again, that would be Canelo pulling up, because Canelo ain't going to catch weight anybody. He'll be pulling Bud up all the way up to the full 168. No, don't do that. Shout out to Badu Jack for telling Canelo, hey, man, yeah, I'll entertain the fight. Wait a minute, you want me to come down to where? You do know I'm cruiserweight. He wanted him to come down from like 199 pounds all the way down to 168. Badu Jack said, thanks, but no thanks. And while you're at it, why don't you go fight David Benavidez? Crickets. Listen, man, you guys got to wake up. There's a whole lot for Bud to do that doesn't need to include Canelo Alvarez. Why are you guys chasing this guy around? Don't follow that path. It's been traveled already. Create your own path and set a trail. Bud is undisputed at 140. He is now undisputed at 147. He got to get past Errol. But win or lose to Errol in the rematch, Bud is going to the Hall of Fame. And guess what? He could still fight Jermell Charlo. There's work to be done. Bud is his own man, and in my mind, all I think that the powers that be are attempting to do is, no matter how great Bud is, it would be good for those people in charge to say, as good as Bud was, he still lost to Canelo. I don't need that. I know what these people are trying to do, and y'all, when I say these people, y'all know who I'm referring to. Stop it. Bud, you're your own man. Do you. You're doing fine. You don't need that man in the middle. What that man in the middle needs to do is fight the man on the left. That's the work right there. That's the work. So I agree with David Benavidez. And Canelo's running scared from this man. He's been running scared from this man. I don't want to hear, he lost his belt on the scales and cocaine. Yeah. Here's my response. Clenbuterol, which trace amounts are now allowable. They done changed the rules for this man. Stop pursuing this man if you're not in his weight class. He has work right in front of him. It's ridiculous. Salute to David Benavidez. Salute to Bud. Y'all don't need this Canelo situation, man. Bud, you're doing just fine. Keep doing what you're doing. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Bronx on deck.
Move!